This is NBC3 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Megan Coleman. Matt's off tonight. Is the state wasting money to give you money? Tonight, we're back on the Waste Watch trail as one of our viewers contacted us looking into why the state went through so much trouble to issue him a tax refund of just 21 cents. Jim Kenyon investigates.
Imagine getting this in the mail, a debit card from the state taxation department saying you're entitled to a tax refund. You might think you've struck it rich. Think again.
I don't get nothing for free.
It happened to Tom Fox of Durhamville near the city of Oneida. Both he and his wife received duplicate tax refund debit cards. It sounded good to Tom until he called the number to find out how much it was really worth.
And I've got the summary of the account and it said I had 21 cents in there.
What was your reaction to
I said, get out. Call Jim Kenyon, get him up here, get this thing sorted out.
It turns out the 21 cents was money left over from a previous tax refund debit card from the couple's 2012 state tax return. The Bank of America, which handles debit card refunds for the state, realized that the Foxes were still owed money and decided to reissue a new debit card, even if it was for just only 21 cents. But to Tom, it makes no sense to issue a card that takes more effort to make than it's worth.
Look at all the money it could have generated. I mean, the card had to have been printed. The people that received my calls at the other end of the line when I asked how much, is on it. And this, it just seemed like too many things got happening for 21 cents.
According to a spokesperson for the State Department of Taxation and Finance, the use of debit cards for refunds is in its second year. Jeff Gloak believes that the Bank of America has a policy of reissuing debit cards if there's any balance left on the account. Gloak adds, debit cards are an extremely cost-effective way to issue a refund in New York. It's a great option for people who don't have bank accounts or don't want to use direct deposit. Gloak says there is no cost to the state for the bank to handle the debit card refunds. But Tom Fox still feels it's a waste of time and money for just 21 cents. Reporting from Durhamville and Oneida County, I'm Jim Kenyon.
If you know of something that you think needs a Waste Watch investigation, email our news team at news@cnycentral.com. We are following breaking news just into our newsroom tonight. The president is just wrapping up comments on the Ebola epidemic, saying the U.S. monitoring of Ebola must be much more aggressive. Here's what he said just moments ago.
In addition, we are working very carefully with the mayor of Dallas, the governor of Texas, and others to make sure that in the event any other cases arise from these health workers, that they are properly cared for in a way that is consistent with public safety. I know that people are concerned about the fact that the second healthcare worker had traveled. Here's what we know about Ebola, that it is not like the flu. It is not airborne. The only way that a person can contract Ebola is by coming into direct contact with the bodily fluids of somebody who is showing symptoms. In other words, if they don't have symptoms, they're not contagious. What we are able to do, however, is to do what's called contact tracing, so that anybody who may have had contact with someone, even if it was incidental contact, even if they weren't showing symptoms, being able to identify who those individuals are and make sure that they are then being monitored in a way that allows us to make certain that the disease does not spread further. And that's currently taking place in a very aggressive process conducted by the CDC, HHS, and the rest of our teams. I want to use myself as an example just so that people have a sense of the science here. I shook hands with, hugged, and kissed, not the doctors, but a couple of the nurses at Emory because of the valiant work that they did in treating one of the patients. They followed the protocols, they knew what they were doing, and I felt perfectly safe doing so. And so this is not a situation in which, like a flu, the risks of a rapid spread of the disease are imminent.
And that was President Obama offering his remarks on the Ebola epidemic just minutes ago. We will have more for you on NBC3 News tonight at 11. Tonight, a Syracuse man's under arrest following the shooting and stabbings on the city's south side last week. 28-year-old Kenneth Kinsey Jr. is now facing charges. In fact, he's charged with assault and more after police say he was involved in this crime in a fight that happened on the city's south side. It happened on Montgomery Street. 37-year-old Jarrell Wigfall was shot and stabbed several times. He's now in stable condition. Police say they will continue to investigate and hope to make more arrests in the case. More news tonight. A man is behind bars in connection with a shooting over the weekend in Syracuse. Police arrested and charged 27-year-old Larry Benton for the death of Dante Bullock. This happened on West Calthrop Avenue early Saturday morning. Police say the victim was visiting someone. According to police, the suspect came to the door and tried to rob the place. It appears Bullock tried to stop the robbery when he was shot. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Benton is currently being held in the Onondaga County Justice Center tonight. Well, this man is accused of driving with a blood alcohol content nearly 5 times the legal limit. Police say 44-year-old Timothy Ruthven was driving recklessly in the town of Hopewell, southeast of Rochester, when a truck driver spotted him. Police say he pulled to the side of the road and the trucker tried to block his car. He then hit the truck and was later arrested. A Cortland man dies after police say he was attacked by 2 men. Police responded to the call around 11:15 on October 7th on Pine Street. When they got there, they found the victim, Jaquin Hines, lying on the ground with a severe head injury. Witnesses claim they saw 2 men fleeing the scene, heading north on Main Street. Hines was taken to Upstate University Hospital, where he died from his injuries. Get a look now at our forecast. A rainy day today. What can you expect as we head into the rest of the evening? Here's Chief Meteorologist Wayne Mahar. Wayne?
Well, Megan, I'll tell you what, some latest information just in 2 minutes ago from the National Weather Service is that we have a flash flood watch. In fact, I'm going to show you that in a second. First of all, here's a look outside. Stanley Lost Skywatch overlooking the city, Route 81 from Adirondack Furniture. And obviously it is raining. The roads are wet. Most of the cars have their low beams on. I'm sure the windshield wipers are going as well. Here's a look at live triple Doppler radar. Here's the area of rain that we're talking about. And over the past hour, we've been following an area of localized moderate to heavy rain working on up through Shenango County, Otsego County, heading northbound into Madison. Oneida County is now continuing to head on north, going to get into parts of Herkimer County, Jefferson and Lewis County here over the next hour or two. So that's the specific area that we're talking about. This area, as we zoom on in right here, some locally heavy rain right now in and around Utica, Rome. This is the area that we've had the urban and small stream flood advisory in effect for until 9 o'clock this evening. And basically these counties right here, we're talking Oneida County, Madison, Shenango, Otsego County. This has now been upgraded to a flash flood watch for these counties right here through tomorrow morning for that rain that is slowly working its way on northward. So I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll update this with the very latest information, as well as looking ahead what happens with the cool weather this weekend. All that coming up.
Wayne, thanks. Tonight our coverage continues of the Ebola scare in the U.S. as we focus our attention on prevention efforts here in central New York. Just into our newsroom tonight with new concerns on the way about Ebola being transmitted. All of those who have a role in emergency and crisis management here in Onondaga County met late this afternoon to talk about our preparedness to handle an epidemic. Is central New York ready? The discussion just wrapped up not long ago. Our Sarah Beth Ackerman joins us live from downtown with the latest. Sarah Beth.
Megan, like we mentioned earlier, Ebola hasn't made its way into central New York, but health officials are taking precautions. One big topic in today's meeting was what do nurses and doctors do if they see a patient that's showing some symptoms of the deadly virus. Health officials are urging hospital staff to put the patient in an isolated room, and they want them to have a separate bathroom and a mask. Next, employees should be protecting themselves by wearing protective equipment such as a mask, a visor, gloves, and a full bodysuit to prevent further contamination.
You know, this isn't something that is unforeseen. We have pandemic plans in place. Our hospitals have infectious control plans in place. We're now adapting to a specific thing. So there's different components. There's the hospitals and the training that the county executive articulated, and ensuring that the hospitals have their employees understanding how to dress in their personal protective equipment, how to take it off, how to dispose of it properly. That's going on. Hospitals do that as part of their planning process with their individual plans.
Now, overall, the general feeling in today's meeting was that they're confident that they have a strong healthcare system just in case a rare event like Ebola heads into central New York. For now, reporting live outside the Civic Center, I'm Sarah Thackerman.
All right, Sarah Beth, thank you. You can keep up to date with the latest on the Ebola epidemic on our website at cnycentral.com. Still to come for you tonight here at 6. What sparked the brawl that led to at least 3 people being arrested at Fowler High School when we come back. Welcome back to NBC3 News at 6. 2 students and an adult are behind bars tonight after several fights broke out around Fowler High School yesterday. Reports say there were at least 3 separate fights. All of them are believed to be related. We did learn today a student did leave the school and then tried to come back with a hammer as a weapon. Our Kelly Cowan joins us live from outside Fowler High School with the latest on the brawl. Kelly.
That's right, Megan. Well, police were called here yesterday morning and then again in the afternoon to help break up several fights that occurred here on school grounds yesterday morning. And I've talked to a couple of students about those fights, and they said that they were both extremely violent, involved dozens of students, and also extremely frightening. Now, the school district has confirmed that 3 separate fights broke out at the school yesterday during yesterday's school day and even spilled over into nearby neighborhoods after the school day. At one point, a student left school and attempted to come back onto school grounds with a hammer. He was, however, detained by school security officers before he could enter the school. 2 students and 1 29-year-old adult have been arrested in connection with yesterday's fights.
I thought that was kind of ridiculous. I mean, he's approaching 30 and he's messing around with kids that are like half his age, and I think that's just ridiculous. I really do.
I was there for a couple of fights.
Tell me about what happened. What did you see?
Some kids got stumped in the head, got trampled over. Everybody was running around.
Now, the district says that they do believe all 3 fights that occurred within the school yesterday were related. However, they are still investigating. For now, reporting from outside of Fowler High School, I'm Kelly Cowan.
All right, Kelly, thank you. A live look right now at live triple Doppler radar where the rain continues to pound the pavement across central New York tonight. Will we see a break in the action this evening? We'll find out from Wayne coming up. Out to the weather deck on this terrible hair night. Wayne has his umbrella, though, so he's keeping dry out there.
Well, yeah, keeping dry out here. We got some light rain here across many parts of central New York, Megan, but out to the east of Syracuse, specifically parts of Shenango County, on up northward through the western Mohawk Valley, heading on up into places like Lowville and Old Forge. There's some locally heavy rain that will be affecting some areas this evening. Some areas already being affected by some locally moderate to heavy rain, and that's why some of those locations east of 81, east of Syracuse, are under flood advisories and some brand new flash flood watches that have been issued. So here's a look at what's going on. Let's start out with a look at the Stanley Law Skywatch overlooking the city of Syracuse from the Stanley Law camera. And it's a wet, soggy evening. As Megan said, we've got the rain going on, but a light rain locally. Here's live triple Doppler radar, and it shows you the extent of the rain right now, and also shows us where the more persistent, moderate to sometimes heavy rain is, and it is to the east of Syracuse. See this area of yellow? This is some moderate to heavy rain that has been working on up from the south, from the central southern tier, from Binghamton, crossing Route 88 through Shenango County. Norwich had a report from our weather watcher in Norwich, Dan Pfeiffer, 2.5 inches of rain there. Continues to work northward now, so that right now we've got some localized moderate to heavy rain over Utica, Rome. This will head on up into Lewis County, maybe getting into Old Forge over the next half hour, 45 minutes. So this right here, south to north, is your corridor of some locally heavier rain. As we zero in on this area right now, Forestport and Boonville getting into some of that localized moderate to heavy rain right now. Okay, update you on the advisories and the watches. Here's the flood advisory in effect. Oneida, Madison, Otsego, Shenango County down into Broome County. This flood advisory in effect until 9 o'clock this evening. And then here's the brand new flash flood watch that's in effect through early tomorrow morning for essentially the same area here. Again, because of some locally heavier rains that have moved through and some more rain that will continue to work on in from the south during the evening and during the overnight hours tonight. This wet weather, it's all caused by this large, slow-moving storm system, the one we've talked about now for several days, that will continue to ever so slowly head north and eastbound over us and eventually moving away from us. We get in a little tighter, and here's that train of rain right now coming right up the Appalachians, right up into central New York, especially to areas east of Syracuse. It'll take another 48 hours for this storm to work its way on out of here. Then we'll get into more in the way of leftover scattered showers behind the storm. So hour by hour tonight, periods of rain, steadiest, heaviest to the east of 81, east of Syracuse, where there may be some localized flooding issues. Low temperature for tonight around 64 degrees. I think the steadier, more important rain is over by 6 or 7 in the morning. 7-day weather outlook tomorrow. Light rain tapers off. Might be able to see a few breaks of sun. Scattered afternoon showers. High tomorrow 73. On Friday, lots of clouds, scattered showers 67. Saturday we'll look for mainly afternoon showers 64. You can see the temperature trend. Saturday night, Sunday much cooler. How about lake effect rain showers likely? High on Sunday only 50 degrees, and then maybe the next rain next Tuesday at 52. That's the latest from the weather outside.
All right, Wayne, thank you. We do have a correction to an earlier story we ran in our newscast. Earlier tonight, we showed you the wrong picture of the man arrested in a drunk driving arrest. This is the man, Timothy Ruthven, who was arrested for driving drunk with a blood alcohol content of 0.39, nearly 5 times the legal limit. He was arrested in the Rochester area. We regret the earlier error. NBC3 News, we'll be right back.
Coming up tonight, the Ebola story just got worse. Another patient hospitalized. Bad news is she flew after her initial exposure. HBO out today with something of a game changer. What will it do for television for the rest of us? And a very special homecoming king and queen, and how a high school has rallied around both of them. That and more when we see you tonight.
And now, NBC3 Sports, awarded Best Sportscast by the New York State Broadcasters Association.
Syracuse football has a new starting quarterback tonight. Good evening. I'm Nico Tamurian, and Coach Schaefer delivers the news during today's ACC teleconference. The true freshman A.J. Long will start for Syracuse against Wake Forest on Saturday. Now, Long played the majority of last weekend's game against Florida State, and while he did well enough certainly to earn this honor this weekend, the Oranges almost forced to start A.J. Long with both Terrell Hunt and now Austin Wilson not being able to give it a go. But even though he's on the sidelines, Hunt has been a huge help for Long, and A.J. attributes some of his success against Florida State to Terrell's guidance.
And he was telling me things that I should look at and things that I should do, and going down the road in the game, it made it a lot easier with him up there telling me what to look at when this happens or in this situation. He's a great mentor. He's like a big brother. He's just making sure that we're doing everything that we can to make sure that this team is successful.
And we break down everything you need to know about the matchup with Wake Forest. It is the Orange Zone tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here on NBC3. Well, it's Wednesday time now for I Challenge Nico, presented by Ford Go Further. And a lot of us don't want to think about winter just yet and the inability to go outside. But after the rain wreaked havoc on our initial I Challenge Nico plans today, I had to search our station here at NBC3 for my newest challenge. Nick, what are you doing?
Oh, working. I gotta get all these logs done. I gotta make sure the show's gonna be ready tonight.
No, I got something more important for you to do. All right, listen, today is the day we run I Challenge Nico.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Well, I think I can really beat you in bowling.
You think we can skip work for a little bit?
I don't think Bill will let us.
Come on, let's go. All right, Nick, we're here at Bowmore Lanes in East Syracuse. I gotta ask you, why'd you pick bowling?
Because that's what I'm good at. Been bowling since I was very young.
So I've stolen one of our master control operators here at the station, and we're off and running here at Bowmore Lanes in East Syracuse. It's after we get started that I find out Nick was on the high school bowling team. And while I stay competitive for about 2 frames, Nick thoroughly runs away with it. And I end up thinking this sign at Bowlmore Lanes is meant for me. Thank goodness I won my previous challenge because I lose again today handily. You know, listen, when I went looking for a matchup, I didn't know the guy was on his high school bowling team.
Oh, gosh.
You can challenge me on Twitter at Nico Tamuri and email us sports@cnycentral.com. We certainly would like to thank Nick Episcopo, our master control operator, who was such a good sport and beat me handily at the bowling lanes today.
I want to take you on in something.
Challenge me. Is this a challenge right now in the air?
I'm going to challenge you to a tennis match.
Tennis match.
Yes.
Look for that when the weather's well enough for us to play.
To the death.
That may be me dodging the matchup a little bit, but yeah.
It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it.
No, we've been having a lot of fun with this. You know, I've won one matchup. That was bocce ball against the Syracuse Overnight mascot. So we're like 1-7 right now.
Okay. All right. Wayne, I think, wants to take you on in ice hockey.
It would be hockey, and I would lose. Yes.
And Matt, I don't know. We'll have to come up with something for him.
Matt,
too.
I in golf. Well, he beat me in that too.
Yeah. All right. So you're.
We'll play some tennis when you're ready.
I'm ready. All right. We'll do it. Nico,
sounds good.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for NBC3 News at 6 tonight. Don't forget, Brian Williams will have the latest on the Ebola epidemic and the latest patient in Texas tonight. That's coming up right now. We, of course, will be back with you with more local news, weather, and sports on NBC3 News at 11. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you a bit later on.